and spontaneous. And we were on a date, and then I found out that
come and talk to me. I really wanna meet you, girl. I really wanna know your name.
Alright, welcome to Intimate Conversations, episode 4. This is where we try to bridge the gap between people, relationships, love, family, life, all the above. So, what is your name and how old are you?
Hey, what's up? My name is Asia Sparks. Yeah, Sparkle Girls take over the world.
Spark up, I remember that.
Hey, and I am at the age where you start reversing your age. So I'm 13. No, I'm 31. Sorry.
Alright, if I asked you, how are you, mind, body, and spirit?
Mind, body, and spirit. Okay. Body, shoot, I'm 31. I'm looking alright. I'm feeling alright, Mind, spirit is just on God. Honestly, to God be all the glory. I'm not gonna act like some days I don't have it together, because I don't. I'm just kind of just going with the flow of what God need me to do and allowing Him to guide and lead my steps.
Right. And
if God's on my side, then I'm good. And I am the light, and I got the light.
I'm with it.
All
right, so I know you have all the slashes now. So you're a rapper, an actress, EP, all the above. And what is your biggest inspiration in each field?
Oh wow, that's a hard question. Because I feel like all of those things kind of intertwine together. And I always said I never really had a gift for rapping or acting. I had a gift of expression. Okay. So I think because I have a all-around gift of expression, it just makes everything like a whole lot better. The people always say that I'm animated in rapping. Right. It's because I have a gift of expression. And they say that I'm so animated in acting and I can tap into different emotions. It's because I'm good at expression. But I think my inspiration in music, I think it just comes from me growing up, you know what I mean? And I think those, the elder generation and the people that like raised me, we used to have me clean up on Saturdays and, you got music playing in the background. And I'm not just talking about like hip hop either, I'm talking about like chic, good time, like we are family, like
the good stuff.
The good stuff, you know what I mean? When the times when the music felt good, and even down to hip hop, like I grew up like with listening to DMX and like Biggie and like Busta Rhymes and Method Man and Redman and Philly. Like it was just so, my music taste was just so different.
Diverse, right?
You know what I mean? Even down to like Lauryn Hill and the Fugees, like all of those things I think are embedded in my soul, and I think that's why I can't kick. Like I'm good at like the new stuff too, but I just can't kick my hip hop roots. Right. I started in the ciphers. Like it's just love. I fell in love with music. Hate the music business, but I love music.
I'm glad that you said that, because that kind of goes into my next question. So, since you've been on all sides of the entertainment industry, what's the worst thing you've seen or heard in the entertainment industry?
Wow. I've seen a lot of imposters. You know what I mean? I grew up, it's funny because I met a lot of people just on GP, but way before I started acting and doing music, I met a lot of people in the streets and just a lot of people that way before fame. And it's just so weird how when the lights come on, it's
a character.
It's a character, but what's scary is a lot of people have imposter syndrome. Right. A lot of people don't know how to separate who they are from what they become. And I think one of the things that, even for me, I took, you would call it a hiatus, right? But I took a senior hiatus, and it was because I started music very young. And I just kind of got thrown out there, and I wasn't really, when you're 19, you're not really sure who you are. I'm telling you, I'm 31 now. I'm still figuring out who God is making me become. And when I was 19, I wasn't necessarily sure. I just swore I knew who I was, but it wasn't that. And during my 10-year hiatus, I was going through a lot of like identity crisis about like, who am I? Like, you know what I mean? And it became a point when I forgot what age, but like a certain chapter in my life, it was like, you know what? I'm important with or without Asia Sparks. Like, who Asia is and who I was born to be, and which is the most important part. Like, you have to remember that, like where you came from, so you know where you're growing to. And it's like, I see that a lot. So many people get lost underneath the lights, and they forget who they are. One thing I would never do is forget where I came from, who I am, and because I believe that's a part of your growth. If you don't, and if you forget that, it's gonna stunt your growth. You know what I mean? Some things I've seen a lot of weird stuff. Like, I've seen a lot of. I believe that in this industry now, I think we like glorify. We forget to glorify God, if I'm gonna say that. And right now, everything with the world, everything is just so blunt and in your face. And it's like we glorify the things that aren't important. We glorify materialistic things. We glorify capitalism. We glorify what looks cool and what sounds cool, but then it's just like, for me to be a bystander and to be on the side of those things, it makes me feel like, what about the important stuff? Like, that's why a lot of us are like, it's just like the blind leading the blind, if you ask me. And I don't mind walking away from something that's immorally correct. You know what I'm saying? That's immorally incorrect. I'm all about value, and I believe that as long as you stand strong and you stand on what's good, or if you stand on something that means something, you're gonna be okay. You don't have to do what the rest is doing. You set apart.
Right. All right. So besides work, and I know you said something about school. What is the school part?
The school part?
Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, a lot of people know this because I'm like pretty much like sort of like open book, but like I went to nursing school for a little bit, and I was being a nurse for a while, and then the music and the acting kind of brought me places. And now that I'm currently acting and doing a lot of other things, I'm in pastoral school to be a minister and a disciple.
All right, so
I bet you didn't know that.
yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, actually in class tonight. So that's actually, but I love it though. Like, I love it. I think I'm not even gonna lie. People be like, "Oh yeah, church girl," and it's like, I don't think it's. I think church is in the body. I think it's not necessarily about religion. It's about relationship. But I feel like when you get saved, it's like, this is how I feel about it. Okay, I'm not trying to Jesus everybody, but like, you know, when you get saved, it's like, and you really form a relationship with Christ or God, it's like church is like your favorite place to be. It's like a safe space. For me, it's like my safe space. It's like I don't have to perform in front of God. It's like, you know everything about me. I can come to you about everything. I don't have to feel the shame and the guilt and just down on myself about my mistakes. It's okay to come as I am, and I think that, to me, that's the most important thing. So I stay at church because it's my favorite place to be. So yeah, I don't care. Say what you want. I love it because it gives me encouragement. It gets me through the week. It'd be like, yeah, I showed up. I can be myself. I don't have to filter my words in front of God. It's like, He know who I am. He know what's up, and He gonna work on me, and He gonna chip away at all my ugliness, all my dirt that I be trying to hide, and He gonna clean me.
All right. So, for a lack of a better term, I'm gonna say, how do you let your hair down, or what do you do for fun? Like, what is your escape and peace outside to just have fun and, you know, enjoy yourself?
Okay, an escape for me would be any moment that I don't have to get dressed up, put on makeup. Like, an escape for me at 31 would be me staying home. Honestly, ain't that crazy?
No, that's beautiful.
Like, you think you would think that, like, you know, escapes be going somewhere, and of course, like, going out of the country and going out of town. I've been on a lot of vacations and a lot of trips. That's cool. But an escape for me would be being able to be home, relax, sweatpants on, t-shirt, glasses on, hair up, right, in a bonnet. You feel me? Right. Like, eating and chilling. But also an escape for me is actually working. Okay. I know that's kind of weird, but like,
No, sometimes if you enjoy what you do, you know, it's not really working. It's just like
I love what I do.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it comes to a point where it's like, all right, like I run a couple businesses and stuff like that, and that's what I typically do like full time. And that doesn't even bring me fulfillment. But when I'm on set or when I'm shooting a music video, even though it's hard, it's like, yo, I'm escaping. I enjoy it. I love it. I need to get back on set.
I'm not mad at
Real,
that.
yeah.
All right, so what would be your favorite TV show or go-to movie that you can watch over and over?
I'm so excited because I was like literally watching my favorite TV show, and I was like, I hope somebody asks me this one day. My favorite TV show would have to be Girlfriends. With Tracy Ellis Ross, Persia White.
Who's your favorite one?
Ooh, I don't know, because I feel like I see myself in a lot of them. Like I have those like I won't settle mentality, like Tony,
Right.
and then like I have that like hood still from Philly. You know what I mean? Like Golden, like Maya,
Right.
you know, and then I have this like nerdy side of me and this super like good excitement about life, like Joan. And then I have this musician.
I think Maya was my favorite one until she cheated with Stan.
Yeah, Maya was slipping with that one. Like, what was that about? And then Stan did something crazy, like Stan popped up and
Right.
was friends with Darnell. I'd have been over there like, what?
Right.
But I you know, and I see myself in Lynn a little bit too. Like,
Free
you
spirit.
know. You know, yeah, I see myself with Lynn with the music and just trying to figure out what she want to do next. And the moments where she was just kind of like didn't want to move and just
Right.
want to be in bed. And I think sometimes as artists, we just gotta like, we have these moments where we sit back and be like, dang, what am I doing next?
Right.
So I love that.
A lot of times I say to artists, because it's like we just listen to the music. So when you have a favorite artist, you're like, I can't wait till they put out some more music. But you're not cognizant of their, you know, what they're going through in life.
Yeah,
So,
that's true.
So when they're on a hiatus, it's like, damn, where's the music?
I mean, yeah, like for me, I went on a really long hiatus, but like I noticed, like even with Beyonce,
Right.
like Beyonce will put an album out and she's been touring like crazy, but like right before she tours, you might not see Beyonce for
Right.
maybe a year or two.
Right.
Because in that process, Beyonce's working on the album or she's working behind the scenes on endorsements. And so for me, I wasn't working, well, I wasn't out in 10 years, but it doesn't mean I wasn't working.
Right.
And so now I'm sitting on 4 albums. That's a lot, right? But I knew what I was kind of doing within that time frame.
Okay.
I knew that I can hone in on, I knew that I could produce, but I needed to get better at producing.
Right.
I knew I could act, but I realized with the music, I wasn't taking enough time
Yeah,
to
it
like,
takes time to craft.
you know what I mean? Like I wasn't taking enough time to like really hone in on my other parts of me, the other parts of Asia that were important. And it was like, you know, when you open the floodgates of music, it's like your life doesn't shut off.
Right.
And so I didn't understand what it was like to stop and smell the roses. And it was crazy because I met this guy from ABC, retired. He was like, you're doing a lot.
Right.
Make sure you take the time to smell the roses. And as I was going through this hiatus, that just kept circling around in my head. Stop and smell the roses, stop and smell the
And I
roses.
feel like you also have to live life so you can have something to speak about in your music.
And you know what's crazy? Like music introduced me to a whole nother life. When I tell you I got stories about everybody, like not good, bad, you
Right.
know what I mean? But still, like I have stories about a lot of people, meaning like good testimonies, no gossip, just testimonies. And so for me, it was like this is in my 10 years, I was like, dang. Like,
So who was the artist that you came across that you never thought you would come across and you got like fan struck?
oh wow. I wouldn't say I got I only got fan struck in front of some actors. Felicia Rashad definitely fan struck. I was working with Felicia Rashad on Creed,
Okay.
and when I tell you, I just couldn't do anything but just smile like this. Like everything she did, I did. She was looking in the sky. Everybody looked at her. I was looking in the sky. Like I was just like, It was amazing to meet her. As far as music is concerned, like I never really got starstruck from anybody. There are a few people that if I met, I probably would. Like, definitely when we're thinking about desperation, if I met Jackie Chan, I definitely would pass out on him, like for sure, because that's my birthday twin. Like, why wouldn't I? I would pass out right on Jackie Chan. I don't think, like when I met Usher, I didn't get starstruck. When I met Chris Brown, I didn't get starstruck. I even met Suge Knight. I know that they're people. Right. You know what I mean? And it was just only the people that I looked at as like, wow, Felicia Rashad, I wish she was my mom. You know what I mean?
Everybody wishes she was their mom.
Claire, like, I love Felicia Rashad. And so for me, that was amazing. I met a lot of people though. I really just can't. I don't know.
All right.
That's a hard question. Next. I don't know.
I was kind of, doing my research on you, so.
Okay.
I know that you come from a family of hustlers.
Yeah.
So, in your core, like, what is your attractions? Like, how does your attractions flow? Like, when you see somebody or when somebody's trying to entertain you, what is your value of the attractions? Like, is it money based? Is it like looks? What are you attracted to?
A man?
Yeah.
Like someone that, okay. I think right now, so I guess I'm, okay. Okay, so I guess for me, number one, it wouldn't be the money. Because I know at my age now, what I've experienced, just because you have money does not make you a high value man.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's a lot of dudes with money that suckers, just plain suckers. For
or
me,
just corny.
Or just corny. But you know what? I like a little corny. Right. I ain't gonna lie. I like a little corny because I'm a little corny. Like, I got jokes. Like, I'm not corny, but like my personality, like I'm not materialistic at all. I mean, I could dress nice, don't get it twisted, but like I am not materialistic at all. Like, for me, it would have to be number one, do you have a relationship with God? Okay. That's just number one. Okay. Just because I believe that you can't be unequally yoked in anything. And that's super important because if you know a relationship with God and you know how God loves, then you know how to love. So that's important for me. Also, I do look to see if he has kids. I don't have children myself, but if he had kids, I would see if he would be active in his kid's life. Right. I will also look to see if he rushes. I don't like guys who rush because anything that happens too fast is that's not good. You know, I like to take my time. I don't like to be pressured into anything. Also, it's important for a man to understand my purpose, and also a man who can help me just navigate through my purpose, but not try to control my purpose. And of course, like, smell good. I don't know, like, I don't like guys who eat like terrible, like, okay, we eat bad today, okay, but like all you eating is like processed food. Like, please learn how to cook some vegetables, please drink some water, please. Right. That's like a thing for me because I'm really big on like taking care of myself. So it's like, and then plus, like, I'm a diabetic. Like, I don't, if you eat bad, oh cool, what I mean, eat a little burger. But I'm just like, I don't want a guy that's like, I used to talk to this guy. All he did was like eat oodles and noodles. I was like, oh, turn off, I'm done. Right. Once I found out how he ate, I was like, don't know, because you ain't gonna be feeding my kids a bunch of you got dogs, but like hot dogs every day. That's all you eating. Like, no. But it's just really important that a man has his priorities together. And yeah,
I'm not mad at that. You did say something that I had on my question list. Okay. So I know that you don't have any kids. Okay. Where do you stand on that?
I'm in the clear. Like, I'm so happy I don't have kids. Let me just add. I think people in our culture, Black culture, like we it's so odd for us to like have children at an older age, right? But then in the other cultures, right, not glorifying it at all. Other cultures, they have kids in their 30s. And so for me, like I said before, I'm very old school. I have old school traditions. Like, I'm a godly woman, I'm a virtuous woman. And in a world where, you could just get some like that, you know what I mean? I try to just be different. And it's not to play games. It's just truly who God wants us to be. Like, we're not meant to be sleeping with everybody, carrying, because that's a moment where two become one, and it's like one flesh. So that's a serious covenant that you're making with somebody. So for me to continue to, like, if I'm gonna mess with somebody and then mess with another person and then mess with another person, and I'm trying to get pregnant by this one and pregnant by that one and pregnant by that one, I'm carrying too much. It's gonna be too much that I'll be carrying, and it's too much space that's being filled, instead of worrying about what God needs me to be and allowing God to, like, bring in whoever's meant for me to be. I'm celibate right now. And it's kind of difficult because it's like I'm 31,
right.
You know what I mean? And I'm in a world where...
How long?
6 months, 7 months. And I've been sober for 7 months. And that is a big journey for me too, to not drink and to not smoke and just to stay sober and just focus on God. But I'm happy. Right. I'm happier than I've ever been. And I'm okay with that.
That's what's up.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
So,
it makes my standards higher.
So kids, later when it's right or not at all?
I don't know.
Yet to be determined.
Yeah, to be continued. Honestly, I'm just, since I've been celibate, it's just turned my standards all the way up. It's like I'm not accepting just anything, like a guy, oh, let me get your number. Okay, get my number. Like, no, I want to know what your relationship with God is. I remember, I'll tell you this story. I remember I was dealing with this guy, and I was like, oh my goodness, I really like him. He's like perfect. Oh my goodness, spontaneous. And we were on a date, and then I found out that he didn't believe in God. Right. And so for me, I had to, like, end the relationship, and it was okay, but I had to end the relationship because it was like, dang, I wish that would have been the first question I asked. Right. So since then, it's always been a thing for me. Like, I won't even talk to a guy if, like, I find out he has no relationship with God. Right. Just because, and I'm happy with that. Like, I'm happy with that. I'm tired of everything being so easy, even with men. Right. Like, nothing's sacred anymore. It's just like, even when they do have something committed or something good going, it's just like you mess it up because for a temporary pleasure. Right. Everybody's doing the same thing. I'm like,
so I heard something, or I might have seen it, and it said that there is no real love right now. It's just transactions.
And it's sad because it's like that. It's like that both ways. It's like that with women, and it's like that with men. And I think it's selfish. It's really selfish. But you know, when you in tune and you don't got all that other stuff blocking your vision, and you can see right through that. Right. It's like whether or not do you want to be patient, or do you want to be rushing into stuff? When you rush into stuff, that's how you crash. Right. I ain't gonna be no crash dummy. Sorry. I'm okay. Like, I'm happy. I don't need a man, and I'm not gonna say I don't need a man. I want a man, and I do think I do need a man. You know what I mean? Right. But I don't need a man to feel fulfilled, right. Or I don't need a man to validate me. If I want to dress up, or if I want to wear something, or if I want to do something, I want to do something because it makes me feel good, because it's who I am. I'm not doing anything to please the next person. I'm tired. I'm not a people pleaser at all. That's one thing you know. I'm kind. I'm generous. I'm selfless. But I'm not going to people please. What's right is right, and what's wrong is wrong. And if you're looking for a yes man, you're not going to find that over here. And so I think, and another thing that I have an issue with today, and I'm just talking, but another thing I have an issue with today is, like, men are forgetting how to love, and women are forgetting how to respect.
Facts.
And so for me, it is very difficult, especially when it's like respect. I show, like, it's a respect thing for me. It's the principality of respect. Respect me, I respect you.
All right, so let's stay there, because that kind of goes into my next question. I was going to ask you if you are a giver or a taker, but it sounds like you are a giver. So being a giver, has that ever been reciprocated to you?
Being a giver, has it ever been reciprocated? Yeah. It started to be reciprocated when I decided to have boundaries and started to choose my friends wisely. When you're a giver, it's important that you surround yourself with other givers. Because that's what happens. Givers, we always tend to just buzz around the takers, right? And you know, a lot of times, because we have no boundaries, we just give until we have nothing left, and then we're stuck with God refilling us back up. And you only can have what my cup runneth over now. And I think that just comes with age. You know, it doesn't make me any less of a giver, because I'll give to a stranger. You know, I'll give to somebody I don't even know. And they'll appreciate it more than the people that are around. But it comes to a point in time when you give, and the people around you aren't giving anything back, and you have to save yourself. Like, I seen this girl on TikTok, and she was like, Lord, God saved me from me. Like, and that's important.
Right.
Like, it's so important.
Facts.
I have friends that I surround myself with givers, and it's crazy because before I used to surround myself with all types of people, like givers, takers, people that just sitting around monitoring, watching what you do, watching your glory, taking a piece of it. But now I'm not even doing it, to be honest. Like, God isolated me, and he's been bringing givers into my life, and it makes me feel at home, because now when I give to you, you give back.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's crazy because the givers that God has been bringing me is like, I'm giving something to you. They be like, okay, I'm going to give something to you. I'm like, no, don't give nothing to me. I'm trying to give something to you. Like, you know? But that feels good. It feels good, and it makes you feel appreciated. So, to all the givers out there, have discernment on the takers. Have discernment of the ones that are just around to monitor you. Be great. And surround yourself. If not surround yourself, pray that God surrounds you with givers. And those are the people that are going to inspire you and make you not want to give up.
All right, I want to ask you about female tendencies, I would say.
Oh.
So, are you still friends with your childhood friends? And is it hard for females to stay friends with females?
That is hard. Yes, I am still friends with some of my childhood friends. I when I grew up as a child, I was always bullied because, like, I was diabetic, so I was really skinny at 11, and then I found out I had diabetes and had eczema, and I was just like the sick kid, you know what I mean? And so a lot of people made fun of me, which was okay, because then when I got on and popping, everybody wanted to be my friend. And I still do have some of the same friends, and sometimes we're not always on the same page. Sometimes we don't even talk, like, you know, but it's always my sisters, you know. And I'm starting at 31. I don't know if a lot of women, I see a lot of women now on social media kind of coming together, but like for me, I've been really valuing my female friendships.
Right.
I have a sisterhood of friends, some married, some not, some with children, some not, but we're all wise. And so the good thing about it is we're wise, and we pick each other up, and we lead each other closer to God, and this is truth. Friend, you know who you are. But one of my friends was like, you know, one day she was having a bad day, and she like kind of disrespected my God.
Right.
And so I said, such and such, I love you, but if you ever disrespect Christ again, I'm not gonna be your friend no more.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because and she was like, oh, I'm sorry, blah 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 blah. And I think that kind of put a wedge, a little bit of a distance between us. But that's just one thing. Like, I'm not knocking you for your faith. Don't knock me for mine.
Right.
And some of my girlfriends, like, you know, I got girlfriends, like, when I'm down and I just don't know where to go, they pray for me. I got girlfriends, I pray for them. And I think when you become mature and a grown adult, like, that's what the friendships are about. Like, lift me up when I can't lift myself up. That's what I try to do too, all the time.
I'm not mad at that.
So I'm grateful. I'm grateful for my girlfriends.
All right. What is your definition of love?
Definition of love is unconditional. It's loving someone how God would love them, knowing who they are. It's my phone, but knowing who they are, and loving them in spite of. And it doesn't mean hurt yourself. Look, see this guy like bing bing. Tell you, yep, hit him on the nail. But loving someone like God loves you, you know, like, doesn't matter what you did in your past, because I'm not here in your past. It's who you're becoming, and let me help you, push you to who you need to become. Doesn't mean I'm trying to control you. You have a choice in whatever you want to do, but just accept me for who I am. You know, I don't believe that nobody is perfect. I'm the type of person, like, you got about 3 strikes with me. You know what I mean? Because I can put up with a lot, but you got about 3 strikes with me. And also, too, I believe that, like, you know, with God, it's like He'll give you a choice, and He'll extend you some grace and some mercy, but he gets jealous. And if you keep on choosing not to love God, then you're gonna be dead spiritually. And I think that's how love works as well. Everybody has a choice.
Okay, what part of love do you feel like you need to work on?
Good question. We're getting deep now. A part of love I need to work on is accepting to love myself. I think, I feel like a lot of women have insecurities. I don't really have a lot of physical insecurities. I have a lot of like past trauma insecurities. And sometimes in my career, it became a point where it's like, do you feel like you're enough? And then I had to realize, like, I keep bringing it back to God, but I have to realize, like, I have to stop listening to what the world says I am and start listening to what God says I am.
Facts. Fill in the blank on this. And it would say, the thing I love most about me is...
The thing I love most about me is my light. It's good. It's good, right? I like my light. It attracts a lot of good people. But it also brings a lot of darkness, with other people. I like my light, but some other people don't like my light. But it's okay. Because I'd rather be a light. I like it.
You like it?
Yeah, I like my light. My light is good. I like it.
I'm not mad at it. Do you feel like you're coming into your light, this is the beginning, or do you feel like you're in the middle?
No, I feel like I've always had the light. I just think that other people, they choose not to see it. They see it because you can tell how people treat you. They try to dim your light or try to make it seem or try to make you feel small or not good enough. But and now that I'm older and I'm aware of the treatment, I know it's because of my light. And sometimes my light makes people confront their darkness, but when you have light within you, it doesn't matter what kind of day you're having, and it always works out for you good. Right. And so I like being a light, and I like showing up when people are having dark moments, and I really like being that because when you stand in and you just pop up and you're at a place where you're supposed to be and you're meant to be, you're confirmed, like, this is why I'm here. It creates like a spark and like a passion within you to say, this is why I'm here, this is why I'm alive, I'm here for this purpose, whether it's big or small.
Right.
So.
Okay, so like I was saying, I heard or I seen in the interview that you were in the middle of a couple of tragedies. What's up, people? Sorry for the interruption. I need to make a public service announcement real quick. This is the trigger warning section. So if you've had bad life experiences, you can fast forward or skip this part. Now, normally I just speak off the top of my head, but I had to write this one down because there's valiant points that I want to make sure aren't missed in this message. All right, I want to give some context into this interview, some background information on Asia Sparks' journey. She's already had a lifetime of experiences, some good, some bad, and she's only 31, people. She's only 31. So first, I want to give a shout out to Asia Sparks. She was open about speaking about any and everything. She was very candid on giving all the information. I only knew of her as an artist. This was actually my first time meeting her in person. I only knew of her as an artist, but I gained a huge respect for her as a person, being as though all that she's been through and she's still not jaded. And she says something very important that, I want people to take heed to. She said she doesn't blame everybody for all the things that she's been through. She doesn't blame, men. She doesn't blame all her family. She blames the person who actually did these things. Now, which is amazing because she's learned how to lean on her faith and God to guide her through, all her trials and tribulations. So she dealt with having diabetes at an early age, and she's still fighting that fight, keep pushing through. She grew up witnessing domestic violence from the hands of her biological father onto her mother as a little girl, amongst other things that led to her feeling lost in the shuffle of being unheard and misunderstood as a young girl growing up, to unfortunately going through domestic violence and sexual assault herself as a young woman. In the midst of experiencing the tragic and traumatic deaths of two of her boyfriends being shot and killed, all the while being a young woman thrust into the entertainment industry, where the sharks, as y'all know it, are awaiting to try and do what they do in that thing that they call the boys club. I say all this to say, this is Intimate Conversations. Yes, we're going to go deep. As the great Jamel Hill said, if you know, you know. You are not a real journalist unless you ask the tough questions. So this is a safe space for men and women to share their stories and perspectives. And I will ask the tough questions only because it's time to. It's time for everyone to speak their piece, for there was not always a place or even a safe space to do that. But once again, I want to give a shout out to Asia Sparks, for her energy was so good. And because I had only just watched her share her stories in another interview, that I didn't dive into these traumatic, instances. Shout out to the emergency room on YouTube.
But I feel like you can't be loved properly if you're not safe, if you're not protected. There's no way. The Maslow, we're gonna go to another level. The Maslow hierarchy of needs. It means you got the physical, the basic things. If you don't have water, food, shelter, clothes, you don't feel safe. If you don't feel safe, you cannot feel love. If you don't feel love, you don't feel self-esteem. If you don't feel self-esteem, you don't know who you are. And that's what I was struggling with. I didn't feel safe.
That is where the interview is, and I'll put that link in the description. So if y'all want to check out that interview, it'll be in the description of this video. And then you'll see her, speak in depth about some of these things in her life. Now, I'm glad I was able to make her laugh a little bit, allow her the space to speak about some fun stuff, and get her perspectives on life and love in a different way. Now, back to our regularly scheduled conversation. I hope y'all enjoy this interview and those to come. This is Intimate Conversations, signing out, Taylor Made. So how are you keeping your sanity? And do you trust men now?
Okay, I don't keep my sanity as God. I think, again, I don't even think without the tragedies. I just think that the world sometimes is just so heavy on us, right? Just responsibilities and just like not being good enough. I keep stressing that because I meet so many people and I talk to so many people that just don't feel like they're good enough or that they're deserving of all the good things that life has to offer. And I think sometimes, I think that if without those hard times, the good times wouldn't be worth it. Right. And so I don't think that where I'm going and where I'm about to be, I don't think that it would mean as much to me if I didn't face those hard times. And initially it makes you stronger. Right. You're not going to pray for something and God gives it to you. It's going to be like, God gave it to me. Yay, I'm blessed. Oh, yeah. But when you work hard for it and when you overcome those big mountains and you overcome those giants, it gives you your queenship and your kingship. And that's the whole definition of wearing your crown. Like a crown is earned. It's not, well, I guess it is given. but in most cases, when a crown is earned, it's like a lifetime long legacy, even after death. You know, it's not the same. Oh yeah, he just got that crown because he just who he is. Okay, but when you work for your crown, like King David, short and beating all these giants, it's like a lifetime king.
So I like to ask women, because sometimes, you know, they say that words hurt more than a physical act. So was the worst thing that somebody has ever said to you worse than the worst thing they've done to you physically?
Yeah, because the things that are said, you don't know what I'm saying to myself. So, you can say something about somebody, you ain't gonna be nothing, you're gonna be nothing, and it's like, well, how you already know I'm not already feeling that? You know, now I don't feel that, you know, but like before, it could have been moments where I just felt like I wanted to end it all, and you say something, you know, bad to me that really could have ended it all. Right. So it's important that that's why I said it's like life and death lies in the power of the tongue. And it just doesn't go for you, it goes for others. Like, you have to be very mindful of what you say out your mouth. You have to be very mindful of the energy and the words that you're bringing to other people. So even just random people you don't know, walking around with attitude, and you don't even know, like, somebody could be ready to kill themselves, right. And you go ahead and you give them a harder time than they're already having because you don't get something your way. Everything isn't always your way. You know, in life, you just got to realize, like, I'm just here and you're here, and we both take up space, and let's just compromise at some point. And I think you asked me a question, do I trust men?
Right. Are you open? Like, when you meet somebody, are you open, or do they have to prove their trust?
Yeah, I think they have to prove their trust. Like, I'm open. Like, I'll give you respect off the rip, but I'm not going to give you trust off the rip. That's like a whole different ball game to me. Like, I feel like trust is earned and not given. I feel like everybody, it's not even just men, everybody got to prove themselves now. Everybody's doing one thing and saying another. Like, that's just how the world works, right. Social media. But it's like, when I'll give you respect, okay, you looking good, you doing your thing, okay. Right. But can I trust you? Can I trust you to be a good friend? Can I trust you to be a good person? Like, that take time. And so for a lot of times, like, I don't really go on dates. If I get your number and I gotta talk to you first of all, you won't even get my number if I don't like how you approach me. But when I'm on the phone with you, I can let me hear something about you. Let me hear your morals. Let me hear your values. Let me hear what you prioritize. Because as a woman, those things are important, especially at my age. Like, we want to be like, stability is everything, right. For us. Right. And stability comes safety, and I can't. If I don't know if I'm safe with you, how can I trust you? Right. You know what I mean? I think that'll be kind of like wet behind the ears and naive. You know what I mean? But I always give you respect, right. Until you give me a reason not to. Because right. That's just how I'm raised. Right. You know, you respect your elders. That's how we raised. But just because I meet an elder person, that person could be nasty. That person could be something else. You know what I mean? So I can't trust you enough because there's some older people walking around as straight up pedophiles and little dirtbags. You know what I'm saying? But I still, if I first meet you, let me show you some respect.
So do you have a age preference, or is this however it falls?
Now I'm 31. Yeah, they can't, like, I don't want a guy that's younger than me. Like, maybe like 28, 29. Maybe 28, 29, but at 27 and below, I don't want to date you. I don't want to date you. I'm sorry.
What's the oldest you would go?
For me, I mean, I've dated older. Okay, I've dated older.
What's the oldest?
Realistically, where I'm at, oh my gosh. Okay, so like, I've dated older, but I guess like 40.
We try to get there.
46.
46. Okay.
I think. I'm 31. Like, you gotta think, like, everything I'm dating intentionally. So I'm not dating to sleep with nobody. I'm dating to marry. So, and that's like all fleshly things I'm denying myself. So sober, I don't curse. If I do curse, I'm like, sorry, Lord, I'm sorry. But I'm just like at that point, like, nothing of the flesh satisfies me anymore. It's only spirit that satisfies me and where I need to go. And so, because I'm focusing and I'm literally pushing all of that to the side, I have nothing but time to focus on me and myself and getting myself to where I'm going, focusing on my healing so I can be prepared, praying more. I can't, it's not even that I can't, I just don't want to, you know? I don't want to. I don't want to have the urge.
I do want to say that a lot of times people say that they're focusing on their healing, but they're not really healing.
Well, no, I tell you, because it's different stages of healing. So for me, I was just telling my friend, like, you know, it's 3 different types of people. Like, I used to be the type of person that used to be stuck in, I gotta curse, Lord. Used to be stuck in my shit, right? And I just, shame, guilt, I'm not good enough. Why am I'm not going anywhere. I'm not good enough. Stuck in my shame. And then when I started to heal, start clearing space for the healing, because it's hard to say you want to heal when you know you're drinking, you're smoking all the time, you're around people that's toxic, you're in the clubs, you don't got time for healing. But I was stuck in my shit, and then once I started to heal, I started to still not good, but I started to take that shit from one person to the next, trying to find healing. Like, okay, this person's gonna help me heal with this person's gonna help me heal with that, but that's still not good, because now you're carrying shit to shit. And so it got to a point when I decided to sober up and I decided to stay celibate and focus on God. That's when me and God started to go into the uncleanliness of me and start picking out the shit from my shoe. So now that I'm moving, I'm not stuck in it anymore, and I'm not carrying it from person to person like a bag of hurt, but I'm cleaning it out, and now my shoe is clean, and now I'm walking in my cleanliness. And so I think a lot of people, when they're at that stage, they may be at the stage, a lot of people are stuck in the cycle of, oh, I'm just carrying shit from one person to the next, and but still in the back of their mind they're thinking, it ain't gonna get better, this is my life. And me, I've always had that optimistic mindset, like, it's gonna get better. Right. It just, I can't see it right now, it's gonna get better. So instead of me carrying around that shit, I said, stop, sit with God, go into your past, go into your traumas, go into your experiences, start picking out the shit from your shoe. Right. And eventually you're gonna start carrying that shit. Nah, wait, that don't make sense, but you're gonna start carrying that stuff. Right. And it's gonna start becoming a part of your testimony once you're clean. Right. And so that's how I see it. People are carrying it from one person to the next. But for me, I'm gonna carry it, but I'm gonna carry it as a testimony now, and it's not gonna be something that I'm a part of, it's something that I used to be. And I'm no longer that. So that's the good thing about God. Thank you. Woo! Thank you, Holy Spirit. Yes.
So, growing up, this is the last 2 questions.
Okay.
But growing up, how do you feel like, you know, your parents, or how do you feel like how you were raised, how do you feel like those relationships view how you view relationships?
Well, that's really good. I believe, well, my mom is married to my stepdad. They've been married for over 20 years. So I did get to see some of what I wanted, you know what I mean? But I feel like no relationship is perfect. Everybody, especially black families, like, we don't know how to keep a level tone in the house. Like, everybody just yell, you know? I do want a tight-knit family, you know what I mean? I have brothers and sisters, so I was always used to, like, sharing and stuff like that. And so, like, share, give. And so I do want a big family eventually. I mean, I guess I'm not starting at the most youthful age, but I can see it happening. And I think that the older I get, and I'm really happy that I am starting, or I'm not there yet. Because I feel like the older I get, the more patience I'll have. And I don't see that a lot.
I think that you're at the right age, because I feel like in your 20s, you're supposed to have experiences.
Yeah.
So I always try to tell, like, younger people to live your life when you're young, because you only get to be young once. And you have to have experiences to know what you like, what you don't like, you know, those kind of things.
Yeah.
So get some experience, and then once you get to 30, 35, you'll be ready, like, mentally.
Yeah, and I'm grateful because, like, now that I'm at this age, I have way more patience, I have way more knowledge, I have way more wisdom. And I feel like when, like, you know, you get pregnant in your 20s, you're just trying to figure it out. You know what I mean? It's like you just figuring life out.
And now you're a parent.
And now you're a parent. And you got to figure your life out for another person and try to figure out how you can raise this person. So I'm glad that I am becoming who I'm supposed to become. And then I'll be able to share that with my children. But, you know, my mom, I had my sister at 20. She had me at 21. And, you know, growing up, it's like, you know, we're learning life just like she's learning life. And so she did a good job. But I'm grateful that I was like a little nervous to bring in kids real young. You know what I mean? Because now that I'm older, it just makes more sense, you know. And then I have a career and I have like something to. It's not like I'm just trying to figure things. Even though I'm still figuring things out, it's still like I have something to introduce my kids to, whether it's playing the piano or whether it's sports or anything. So, yeah.
Okay, my final question, and then I want you to give your socials and all that.
Okay.
But my final question is, how do you think that men and women can stop butting heads? Like, what do you think that communication barrier is, or what is the problem that we're not getting along or moving accordingly?
Okay, good question. I think that it's I'm gonna just keep going back to God. I mean, not even in relationship. I feel like the couple that prays together stay together. But besides all that, get your life right separately with God. Figure out what you're doing. Heal yourself before anything, because you can't love somebody correctly if you are carrying around all of this hurt. So please get your life together. Get your life together. Even when it comes to ladies, like ladies will deal with somebody and then bring that same old blame and same negative energy onto the next man. Heal, know that every man ain't like that, but also remember those experiences. Stop walking dumb. Stop walking in the dark. You're not dumb. You're not in the dark. You like drama,
right?
Okay, some people just like drama. You know, I'm convinced. You know what I mean? Some people live for that, and I'm here to tell you it's not okay. That's not a healthy society.
I call it toxic activities.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's very like, I know a lot of people that just like drama. I know that I'll teach you something else, ladies. It don't matter how good your box is. It don't matter how good your mouth is. If none of that will compare to the peace that a man has when he comes home. Don't get me wrong, all that little extra, you know, I take it from myself and stuff. It does, you know what I mean? But it helps. But a man don't matter how much box you're throwing on him, he'll leave you for someone who gives him peace and respect. Men want respect, ladies. And a lot of women just be flying off at the mouth with the disrespect. So it's important, like, men want respect. And fellas, women need love. Women need protection. Y'all men hanging around too many men. Like, hang around your men friends, but also it's important to have some women that you go to, whether it's a sister or a cousin, somebody that you look up to, and just figure it out and figure women out, because we do come from two different worlds. I mean,
what is that? What do you think that men miss when it comes to women?
Love. Like, they miss the loving aspect. Like, some men know how to be a good listener. That's cool, but when men need to figure out they anger issues and they shit. Like, when everything be good, when it's all good, but when it's bad, it's like you don't know how to effectively communicate. And then it becomes, and I know sometimes it becomes hard for you guys to speak to women, and because we're loud and we want to get our point across. But let me tell you something, fellas, and women. You learn more when you listen. That's why you got two ears and one mouth. You learn more when you listen. And sometimes when you're dealing with somebody who's combative, ladies, this for you too, it goes both ways. When somebody just want to talk, shut up.
Thank you.
Shut up.
Thank you.
Listen. No. I'm about to get to a point though.
All
Shut
right.
up. Listen. Shut up. Listen. And we get to a point where it's like, you gonna let me talk now? Okay. And then if they try to talk, listen, I'll let you talk. Now let me talk. And I think we just need to effectively learn how to communicate, but also effectively learn how to deal with conflict. Because that's how things get out of hand. You always see people on social media fighting with their boyfriends, throwing hands. Keep your hands to yourself. Keep your hands to yourself. And just always lead with respect, even if it's something that you disagree with. Even if somebody's not agreeing with you, they don't always have to disagree,
right.
and they don't always. But also to seek to understand, because when you're talking to someone and you really get to like hear what they're saying, you be like, okay, that's where it came from, but that's not how I meant. And then if the other person tries to seek for understanding and say, okay, she heard me, even though she still don't get it, and this is where she went. Okay, we can just let this one go. And so everything doesn't always have to be as bad as we make it. I think because we like drama, because we don't know how to effectively deal with conflict, effectively communicate, things just blow up. You know what I'm saying? It almost gets to a point where if somebody yelling at me on the phone, I'd rather just bang. Like,
all the time.
I'm gonna wait. Call me back when you learn how to speak to somebody.
Right.
And so I'm not saying this is not pointing a finger at anybody. Men are to blame, women are to blame, everybody's to blame. But we each need to figure out within ourselves, how do we effectively communicate, and how do we deal with something when it's not our way. Everything ain't gotta be your way. And just like I'm gonna just keep, I always go back to the Bible, but just because you feel a certain way don't always make it true. Just because I feel sad don't always make it true. Just because I feel neglected don't always make it true. But when you talk to somebody and you let them know how you're feeling, ask them for an explanation. If they don't want to give you an explanation, boo, then they might not care about you. Sometimes we just got to deal with the hard facts. Like, I know people that just constantly ended up in jail, constantly fighting, constantly just going through things, stressed out, all because this person ain't giving you what you need. It's okay. You can move on. I know it's harder. Move on. And maybe it might not even be a move on forever, but move on and focus on yourself. Focus on the stuff that you need to do. Focus on how you can spend so much time with this man, losing yourself. Try to take some time for yourself. Find yourself again. And maybe that might give your standards a little bit of a boost. Maybe that might give your confidence a little bit of a boost. Your self-esteem a little bit of a boost. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm just saying, y'all, heal yourself. Get your shit together, please. Get your shit together.
I want to say that I find this in women sometimes. They don't always know who they are. So when they meet a guy, they kind of conform to whatever, how he's moving. But that's not really who they are. So then at some point the train is going to crash. Yeah,
because that's going to get on your nerves real quick. Because instead of that's a problem when they don't have their own life. Right. You know what I mean? Of course, you love a man, you want to be all up under him. I used to be like that too. You know what I mean? I want to be with him all the time. But ladies, it's so important to kind of just. That's why girlfriends are important.
Sex.
You know what I'm saying? Having your girlfriends are important. You don't, I always said this, even with my man, like, I'm not trying to talk to my man about everything. I'm trying to I can't talk to my girlfriends about my man. Right. I can only talk to my man about the things I want to talk to my man about, and my girlfriends about the stuff that I want to talk to my girlfriends about. Because, I mean, half the time, men got their own shit to worry about, ladies. And so, I never really suggest spending, I always say, don't spend all your time with a man. Let a man want to spend time with you. You know what I mean? Let him reach out to you for trying to try to see you. Girl, you gotta get some business.
All right, I'm gonna let you go, but I want to ask: best date and worst date you ever been on?
Oh my goodness, worst date I've ever been on. Best date I've ever been on. Okay. All the best dates are when you get flown out.
Uh-oh.
But you know, people like, yeah, when you get flown out, you expect to give some, but like my dates don't do that. No, my dates don't do that. My dates take their time. I'm just a good person. Ding. But no, a great date I've been on. Got flown out, picked up in a stretch limo. Had my own hotel. It was amazing. Went shopping. It was amazing. By the pool. Ate whatever I wanted. That was amazing. I go on really a lot of dates. First date, I had a nice first date. Guy bought me some diamond earrings. That was nice.
First date?
Yeah. I was younger. That was nice. I go on a lot of pretty great dates. Not lately, but I've gone on a lot of pretty great dates. But that's kind of like superficial. Okay, let me think of another one. I like like dates where it's like, okay, we go out. I went on a pretty good date where we went to Six Flags. That was pretty fun. I like exciting stuff, so went on a date, went parasailing. That was pretty fun.
Right.
Go jet skiing. That was pretty fun. I got a lot of fun dates, as long as it's different. Worst date. Oh goodness. Worst date. This guy catfished me. Catfished me. I knew him, but it was like when I met him, he was in the car, and I was like, "Why didn't he get out the car?" I wouldn't. This is back when I used to give anybody my number. He's like, "I want to take you out on a date." So when he took me on a date, he picked me up in this really, really like this like Chevy type joint, but the wheels was like this big, right? So I had to hop in the car, like it was some crazy stuff. And I'm like, "Why you pick me up in this big ass like wheeled car? What happened to his original car?"
Right.
Get out. I look under, and he hops down. He hit the little feet. He hopped down, and he was so much shorter than me. And it wasn't even a problem that he was short. It was just the fact that like he tried to do all these things too.
But wait a minute, because you're not that tall. So let's tell the people how tall you are first of all.
I'm 5'5".
Okay, you're 5'5", and if he was shorter than you, what was he, 5'3"?
I know his feet was dangling from the car. That's why I said when I looked under the car with the tall wheels that was up to my head, I looked under the car, his feet was dangling. And my feet ain't even dangle. Like he was short, but it was okay because I don't mind. Like I don't care. Like I'm just a nice person, but at the same time, it was like.
But let's stay there for a second.
Terrible.
Could you see yourself in a long-term thing
No.
with somebody? That's what I'm saying.
Well, somebody short?
No, not somebody short. Somebody like way shorter than you.
No, I don't know. I dated somebody that was shorter than me.
Okay.
I know it's kind of crazy, but I did. Like, but he was cool. You know what I mean? It was different. I don't see nothing wrong with it. I don't see nothing wrong with it at all. But what he lacks, he better make up for it in other places. Even though I'm celibate, so I don't know. I don't know. That's a hard question. I don't know.
So that's the only worst date, though.
It was only a worst date because he wasn't honest.
Okay.
It wasn't even that. What would he have to be honest about? You know what I mean? I just didn't like the fact he didn't get out the car the first day. Like you tried to hide it. It's a difference. Like young, you know I'm short. Like, you sure you confident though? I like that. But nah, you was short and you was trying to hide it. Like you was like you ain't want to get out when I got your number. Like you was in the car,
right.
Dip down.
Right.
Then when I pulled up, you ain't get out the car. You was in the high car, dip down.
Right.
As soon as I looked underneath that car and I see them little fake feet dangling. Oh wait, but here's the kicker though. This is why this was the worst date. So then we go into the restaurant and I'm like, "You're not gonna eat?" He's like, "No." So then I ordered some food and he ate off my plate. I was like, "Oh, you short and you cheap? Oh no, I can't do it." You know who you are too. You know exactly who you are. Yes, you do.
That's wild.
Ate off my plate. I was like, "Take me home." This is why I always drive during dates now because I refuse to be picked up and find out that you eating off my plate. I'm going to the bathroom and I'm not coming back.
All right, so I'm gonna let you go, but run down, a couple of the things that you acted in and give your socials.
Nice. Okay, what's up, y'all? Wait, do it like an intro? Okay, never mind. Yeah, so it's your girl Asia Sparks, aka at Sparkle Girl A. You already know SparkleGirla. Follow me on all social medias: Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. Don't be on it like that, but still hit me up. TikTok, yeah, I be on there. And yeah, check it out. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube videos coming soon. Go to my link in my bio. All of my movies are there. Dirty Game with Jamal Gravy, Shooter, Feature Myself, produced by me, on Tubi right now. End of the Line soap opera, that's right, on Tubi right now. Make sure you check out Double Cross season 3, episode 2 and 3 with your girl Asia Sparks. Or check out the whole season because my music on there too. And make sure y'all check out Made in Chinatown. That's actually also on Tubi. It just came out on Tubi, but it's also on cable networks. Check that out. Fells High with Amari Hardwick, Mark John Jeffries. The premiere just released. So make sure you go check that out when that drops. And make sure y'all go check out a couple more movies that I'm in. Alright, make sure y'all go check out. So I said Made in Chinatown. I said that. Oh yeah, make sure y'all go check out Pause with Sam J, HBO. Check that out. Make sure you check out Hollywood Hearts. That's right, Hollywood Hearts, urbanflix.com. Check it out. Any streaming site. And I'm sure it's something that I'm missing. But
Oh, come and talk to me. I really wanna meet you, girl. I really wanna know your